The NewsX report this morning has set the national agenda. And we are just as dismayed to tell you that the government is contemplating, just as we had feared and apprehended for the last 2 or 3 days, the grant of a visa to Syed Ali Shah Gilani, who is nothing but a Pakistani agent masquerading as a Kashmiri. We can say this because we can fall back on several of his statements where he comes out and says, with regular and consistent and monotonous regularity, that he is not an Indian citizen, that he wants to see Kashmir being handed over to Pakistan. But none of these utterances, none of his self-proclamations have dissuaded our government from trying to give this man a passport. There's been a small hitch though, and the MEA has spoken to us and released a statement saying that he's being denied this passport on technical grounds because he needs to come to Delhi to undergo a biometric test. Now, if Gilani completes this formality, in principle, he will get a passport because the Ministry of Home says that it is the right of every Indian citizen, a passport that is, and the Ministry of External Affairs, after following due procedure, will give it to him. In case any applicant applies for the passport, he should fulfill all formalities before his case is processed, and when the matter is referred to MHA, we will process the case on merit. What is this merit? Does merit demand that we give seditionists a passport? Does merit demand that we give individuals who want Kashmir to be handed over to Pakistan a passport? Does merit demand that we give passports to individuals who sign clause 19, which says that they owe allegiance to the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India and have not voluntarily acquired citizens or travel documents of any other country, and who say that they have not lost, surrendered or been deprived of citizenship of India, and who are also asked to say that they are aware that it is an offence under the Passports Act to furnish any false information. Now we know that Syed Ali Shah Gilani, who has been charged under the Ranbir Act of Penal Code for sedition, doesn't believe anything that he writes in these forms. Is that merit, therefore, to give this individual a passport? No, it isn't. It is politics. Let's call it that. It's politics that is now determining this government's outlook towards Syed Ali Shah Gilani. Here's the report that we prepared, and then we'll ask questions of the PDP and the BJP as to why they are sacrificing the national interest for a few votes. What's it going to get them?
I cannot just comment on a matter which government has to take a political call.
A political call on the question of national security. NewsX report setting the news agenda. 24 hours after Mehbooba Mufti told NewsX that Gilani should be given a passport, Home Ministry sources telling NewsX again that it may not oppose Gilani's passport bid, citing it as a fit case on humanitarian grounds. But what followed exposed government's flip-flop on the Gilani row. One minister, two statements in a span of mere 30 minutes.
I cannot just comment on a matter which government has to take a political call, or where if a decision is to be taken, it has to be taken in a very rational manner. That is why I cannot just give a decision or a comment on this. When there is no decision taken yet, why somebody is making issue out of nothing? So my point is that I have not stated anything, and if some decision is to be taken, it will be taken in the national interest.
Minister says that he was misquoted. The question is, why can't the government say a clear no to Gilani? But the damage was already being done. The opposition was outraged and the BJP on back foot. The task for BJP talking heads was to defend the indefensible.
A humanitarian consideration is as much applicable to Mr. Gilani as to a common citizen on the streets of Srinagar who is hardly being looked after or cared for.
The government was speaking in a different language in Delhi and in a different language in the valley.
But the biggest volte-face was from the BJP.
Well, anybody who's an Indian citizen and believes in Indian democracy and Indian constitution should have the fruits of the Indian democracy and should get a passport. The person who doesn't believe in Indian democracy and believes in violence is not deservable for a passport.
वैसे भी ह्यूमैनिटेरियन ग्राउंड पे जैसे उसकी लड़की बीमार है, एक विषय है कि वो उसको देखना चाहता है, लड़की चाहे ज़्यादा सीरियस है, कुछ ऐसा मामला था, तो सुनाते हैं ह्यूमैनिटेरियन ग्राउंड पे देखी होगी मंत्रालय ने.
Adding insult to injury, the PDP was quick to send a thank you note to its sulking ally.
We welcome it. We strongly believe that humanity must prevail. Other details, the MHA has a right to take a decision.
The government may want to buy some more time, but the message being sent out is crystal clear. Wave Pakistan flags and get an Indian passport. Insult India, get the Indian passport. Commit sedition and you'll have a passport ready for you. No sympathy for the disabled, but selective favors for the Pakistan agent. But there are questions central government cannot escape. Does Gilani deserve a passport on humanitarian grounds when he backs terror attacks on defenseless Indians? And what kind of humanity is this which precludes allegiance to India? With Sohail Bukhari in Srinagar, Bureau Report, NewsX.
Yes, it's a politically convenient definition of humanity, isn't it? I mean, what kind of humanity is this which precludes allegiance to India? And what kind of definition of humanity justifies backing terror? Those are some fundamental questions we want to ask tonight. Joining us, RSN Singh, defense analyst, Shazia Almi, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Rafi Ahmed Mir, General Secretary of the PDP. The PDP is very happy today because they welcome the government stand. Ashok Pandit, director and activist, joins us. Rashmi Khan, national spokesperson of the Congress, also with us. I just want to go straight out to Shazia Ilmi. Miss Ilmi, we've just heard 4 BJP spokespeople. You just saw that report. Each one of them is invoking humanity. Now, what kind of humanity is this which precludes allegiance to India? Here is an individual who gets up every time an Indian dies at the hands of a terrorist and says, well done, terrorists, well done.
Absolutely.
Good job. So why should we be so humane to Mr. Gilani in his time of need? Have we forgotten the sacrifices of our braves and of several 100,000 Indians who have died in Kashmir?
Well, absolutely, I agree with you. I don't think he deserves any humanity whatsoever. And I wonder why he has to come begging for a passport. I really wish he sought political asylum and left India for good and chose to live in Pakistan and he can go wherever he wants to go. And I don't just consider... But I don't consider him just being anti-India. I think he's anti-Kashmiris, he's anti-youth, all the people who support him, he works against them. I wish they had the vision, I wish they had the sagacity to see what this man is all about.
So ma'am,
I think in the national interest, it is important not to make him a national hero.
Very good.
Let me finish. I'm making
Very
it,
good.
I'll just take 1 minute. I agree with everything you say. I have extremely strong views. Not to make him a national hero. And he was not serious at all about seeking a passport because I really think Mr. Gilani knows better that when you apply for a passport, you give fees. There is a biometric test that has to be taken, examination. So he is pretending this is yet one more of his farcical excuses to whip up controversy. BJP or PDP together will not allow him to get away with it. His passport has been rejected and
well
as it should be. And I think,
Shazia Almi, very well said.
He thinks that by denying it and he'll
But
become a hero.
I'm so happy to hear this from a BJP spokesperson. You've demonstrated such a spine. Then why?
Well,
why, Shazia Almi, doesn't your government... why doesn't your government support you and other patriotic Indians like you? Why is the government saying, you see, every Indian deserves a passport? Let him apply, we'll consider it. Just say no. If he's such an anti-India element, if he's against humanity, he's against the people of Kashmir, then just tell him, don't bother, don't even fill that form, we're not even going to give you a passport. Why is the government not saying what you're saying? Miss Ilmi, what's happening? What's happening? Can you hear me? Well, I think we've lost her. We've lost her for just a few minutes. So I'm just going to go back straight to Mr. Mir there, who joins me from Kashmir. Rafi Ahmed Mir, the BJP says, what an abhorrent character he is. And you want him to get a passport on humanitarian grounds.
You see, I think you are stretching it, it is being stretched too far.
Really?
This matter is very simple, it is not, yes. This matter is very simple. All the people living in the state and any state of the country have a right to apply for a passport. And the authorities have a right to examine the papers and to see whether
no, there are people here who disagree.
Formality has been done or not.
There are people who disagree.
No, nobody has agreed or disagreed. You see.
Everyone has a right. Everyone has a right.
No, there are individuals who have given their views on this. There are political parties.
I want to ask the panelists here.
Sir, there is a...
No, please, let me complete. We have already given our views on this, and there is nothing like being happy or unhappy on this. A procedure has to take place, and you have to see if a passport being issued to anybody, if
Mr.
everything
Mir,
is intact, if papers are intact, if every formality has been done.
Rafi Ahmed Mir,
I don't know.
Rafi Ahmed Mir is making such a humanist. No, 1 second. Such a humanist argument. How can we have any objections to it, Colonel R.S.N. Singh? Give the poor man a passport.
There is a press guide form in which para 11 clearly says that you have to show express allegiance to the state, and to the best of my knowledge he has not filled this column. I may be wrong, but that's what I have been told, that in the past he has not been filling this
There's
column.
also clause 14. Are you a citizen of India by birth, descent, registration, naturalization? Have you ever possessed any other citizenship?
This part
1 second. Are you working
Rahul, and Rahul, he to say that he is an anti-national, it is an understatement. This man, if you go by his antecedents, he is a fraud. He has blood on his hands. He is a protege of Maududi, the same Maududi who was the founder of Jamaat-e-Islami, which is the progenitor of fundamentalism and terrorism in the subcontinent. He is the man who supported Hafiz Saeed, the mastermind of 2611. He is the person who led Friday prayers when Osama bin Laden was killed.
We know. So why don't we tell the PDP representative on the show
he is the man
to stop shedding crocodile tears for a man who deserves zero sympathy, who's a traitor.
Mr. Mir, and most recently,
Mr. Mir, why are you making him? Let's ask him that question.
And most recently, when Colonel Rai was killed, he sent a delegation to those Hizbul Mujahideen terrorists.
Congratulating.
He gave them the status of martyrs, and he is the man who has been.
What a humane person.
He is the man who has been organizing stone throwing.
Your heart is bleeding for such a gentle soul.
No.
Such a gentle soul.
If Dawood were to ask for...
I'm being a little sarcastic here. Don't mind me.
No. If Dawood were to ask for...
Mr. Mir.
If Dawood were to ask for passport, will it be given to him?
We probably will.
What is the difference between this man and Dawood?
What's the difference, sir, between this man and Dawood, Mr. Mir? What's the difference? Tonight, tell us the difference.
We are not here to discuss many people who are
No, we are here to discuss precisely those many people. We're asking you to draw a distinction between Dawood and Mr. Gilani.
Please.
Draw a distinction between this Pak agent and Dawood.
He has applied for a passport. First, you are not allowing authorities to see what the formalities have been done or that.
Why do we need it?
I have not been completed or are
Why do we need it?
Yes.
Why do we need it?
You and me have to only give, because we need to only give our views. Everybody has a right and come to...
Ashok Pandit wants to make a point.
You cannot deny that right to him.
Ashok Pandit wants to make a point.
You cannot deny that right to Mr. Gilani.
Ashok Pandit wants to make a point.
Rahul, I want to make two simple points. One, do we have to know Mr. Gilani after reading his form? What is this man's background? The entire world knows that what Gilani is all about. So why are we asking for his, I heard Manohar Parrikar, the defense minister, saying that let him write that he is an Indian first. That will be our victory on him. In what kind of world are we living in? We are fooling our own self. The passport, if issued to Mr. Gilani, will be an insult to every security personnel who has been killed in Kashmir by the forces supported by Mr. Gilani.
Respond, Mr. Mir. Respond.
To the nationhood of this country. It will be an insult. It will be an insult to 3.5 lakh Kashmiri Pandits who have been killed and who is responsible for the ethnic cleansing and genocide of Kashmiri Pandits by this Mr. Gilani. Let us talk about nationhood. Let us talk about nationalism. Why are we fooling ourselves by taking a form from him and understanding what Gilani is all about?
This country for what? For a few votes? And I want to ask Shazia Ilmi. We got cut off. Shazia Ilmi, I want to ask you. You know,
it is a tragedy.
You are compromising the integrity, the territorial integrity, national security.
No, nobody will compromise integrity.
You are taking a view.
There is no question whatsoever.
But factually, these things are not correct.
These things are not correct. Shazia Ilmi, please tell your coalition ally.
I have been time and again telling you that it is not for you and me to decide whether he gets a passport or not, whether he qualifies for this or not, whether he is in the farm or not.
It is very much
for us to decide.
It is not known to you or me.
He
has not come for
I want to make another point.
Make a point. Shazia Ilmi, make your point.
I want to add to what Ashok ji has just said. I want to make my point. I want to add to what Ashok ji is saying.
No, you must add.
While Ashok Pandit has talked about Kashmiri Pandits, people should know, besides what has been done to our Kashmiri Pandit brothers, what is happening to Muslim youths there. How they are being ensnared and misled by this very wily and crafty man.
But why don't you tell all these things? Why don't you tell all these things? Why don't you tell all these things to Mr. Kiran Rijiju and Rajnath Singh? And the government.
Say all these things all the time.
No, but Shazia Ilmi, you see, you don't have to convince us.
They're very, very
You don't have to convince us. Why don't you tell your own government this?
The fact of the matter is,
you must actually hold a dharna.
Let's not make a hero out of him.
No, I am not making a hero out of him. The NDA is making a hero out of him. What is the difference between you and the UPA?
You will make him. If you go around saying we will not give it to him, though his daughter is ailing, he will use this exactly to whip up sentiment against India.
Who cares?
This should not be allowed.
No one even votes for Mr. Gilani. He doesn't even stand for election.
We don't want him to.
Who cares? Who is Gilani? Who cares? Shazia Ilmi, the people of Jammu and Kashmir have rejected Gilani.
Let me tell you, Gilani corrodes. He corrodes India. He corrodes India from within.
So get rid of him.
Cannot be given any
Pack him up in a box. Pack him up in a box.
It will be a good start to Swachh Bharat Abhiyan.
Let him go to Pakistan.
Yeah, he cleans India of all these people. It will be a good start to Swachh Bharat Abhiyan.
Good start to Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. It will be a good start. Pack him up, put him in a box, ship him out.
I agree. It's very serious.
We don't need the Gilanis of the world. We don't care what he thinks.
To the progress of Kashmiri economy and
I'm asking you,
youth.
Rashmikant, I'm asking you a question. 1 second, Shazia Ilmi.
Hindus and Muslims.
No, 1 second. Shazia Ilmi, we don't buy this argument that by denying Mr. Gilani a passport, you're going to make him a hero. Unfortunately, the people of Kashmir have voted. Mr. Rashmikant, they have voted with their hands, heads, with their hands and heads. 80-85% of the people have voted against the separatists and their agenda. They don't really care about Mr. Gilani, do they?
No, they don't.
So do you think the BJP...
After the long pontification of Ms. Ilmi, I would like to very humbly submit to her that you will not make a hero of Mr. Gilani, shall never be a hero in Kashmir under any circumstance. Number two, I think you or Mr. Mir were very right. It's a very simple question. After all the documents that Mr. Rahul Shiv Shankar displayed here, that the passports have to be issued to people who are Indians who pledge their loyalty to the sovereignty, integrity, unity of India.
Of course.
Mr. Gilani, let me complete, ma'am. I didn't intervene when you spoke. In March of 2015, just before going to Pakistan on the Pakistan Day, Mr. Gilani's first statement was, "I am not an Indian." He has not retracted from that statement. Subsequent to that, he went to Srinagar and organized several rallies unfurling thousands of Pakistani flags to try and build up a spirit against India of secessionism from India.
And you know how many people showed up?
Yes, there were
500 people showed up.
That's correct.
500 people. That's it. We will be offending 500 people. In fact, if you are offending them, pack them all up in a bus, send them across the border.
Like
Wagah is open.
He has never.
Wagah is open.
He has never.
Don't fear 500 people. If he was such a hero, he would have stood for elections.
Rahul, even if there was 5,000, he has never had. No, let me complete, Miss Ilmi. Miss Ilmi, let me complete. He has never contested an election.
Mr. Mir wants to come in. Let's listen to Mr. Mir. No, 1 second.
Mr. Mir,
I want to understand.
Mr. Mir, one simple question we'd like to ask you, since you are part of the government, you are part of the allegiance to the government of India. Mr. Mir, a very simple question: do you consider Mr. Gilani to be an Indian?
Forgetting that there is a government in place.
Mr. Mir, do you consider Mr. Gilani to be an Indian?
Ask the question, sir. Answer the question.
Mr. Gilani, Mr. Mir, that's a simple question. Yes or no?
Please tell me, why do you ask this question to me?
I am asking you because you are supporting the giving of a passport to Mr.
This question be asked to Mr. Gilani, and while procedurally going
what do you think?
Passport,
what is your opinion?
What is your opinion? What do you think? What do you think?
No, he's telling yes. He's telling yes or no will not matter so long as issuance passport is concerned.
Rahul,
tell me for God's sake when twice his passport
because I want to expose the double standards. Because Mr. Pandit, I want to expose the double standards. I want them to say, I want the PDP and the BJP to say that they think he's Indian. I want to expose their double standards. That's why I'm asking. 1 second, sir. That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking Mr. Mir.
Now the question is very simple.
So, ma'am, if you don't think he wants to be an Indian, if you don't think he's an Indian, if you don't think he even wants to be an Indian, then why are you giving him this passport? Shut the door. Shut the door. Take a position.
It's illegal to give him a passport if he's not an Indian.
So then why am I getting this statement? So why is your government then issuing this statement?
His passport has not been given.
So what is this statement?
Passport has not been given to him. Government has issued the statement.
Do you know what the Minister of State for Home has said? He said it will be a political call.
BJP spokesperson say that he should apologize.
No,
ma'am, no one has said
the
that.
MOS Home, Miss Ilmi, the MOS Home has said it will be a political decision based on merit. What? Can you please tell us 3 merits of Mr. Gilani?
Rahul, can I come in?
If it is based on merit, please tell us 3 merits.
Merit of the case. Sir,
what is the merit in the case?
What is the merit in the case?
What is the merit in the case?
What case are we talking about?
Miss Ilmi, what is the merit in the case?
I would like to correct you.
Tell me, what is the merit in the case? Give me 2 reasons.
That he has not fulfilled that there's an incomplete passport application.
Ma'am,
that he is lying through.
You've just left a window. He'll refill it.
No,
he'll fill it again and he'll send it to you.
Yes. That's exactly what he's going to do. He will be an Indian only for the sake of getting a passport and become a Pakistani after he comes back. That is exactly what he's going to do. He's trying to take India for a complete ride and you are playing along with him.
Then he will give the same reasons.
You are guilty of playing along with him.
And then he will give the same reasons when...
Okay, one at a time.
There are only 500 people.
One at a time.
Only 500 people, Rahul, supporting him. But does it deserve this attention? Does it deserve this attention?
Okay, you see, Shazia Ilmi.
Deserve to be the newspaper of your story?
1 second. Shazia Ilmi.
A wily, crafty man.
1 second. 1 second. So 1 second. You see, Shazia Ilmi, you're lecturing the media. You're telling the media that they must develop a heart, that they must stand in principle and not give him... No, 1 second. And not give him any publicity. No, 1 second. Let me finish. And not give him any publicity. Your government is doing cartwheels. Is doing cartwheels to give him a passport. What are you accusing us?
There are no U-turns. That's cartwheel is the word.
What are you doing? What are you accusing us?
Rahul, may I come in?
This is exactly what he wants.
What Mr. Rashmi has said is absolutely...
Don't give him a passport. Don't make an issue.
What Mr. Rashmi has said is...
Can I come in?
1 minute. What Mr. Rashmi has said is absolutely correct. This man has been known for his duplicity. He can always make a U-turn. you know, he has been urging parents to you know, allow their children to discontinue studies. And you know, indulge in stone throwing, while his own children have been studying in the you know, the best of institutions in India. This is and unfortunately,
and now well settled in Dubai and Saudi Arabia.
No, his son and daughter-in-law are thriving medical practitioners in Peshawar.
That's correct.
And let me tell you, he has been enjoying.
How long are we going to show this humanism? Do you know how many times Mr. Gilani has been treated at AIIMS?
But Rashmikant, unfortunately, one second. But Rashmikant, you see, if this government goes by precedence, it will be justified because the UPA has given him passports on 2 separate occasions. And they've renewed it subsequently 2 consecutive years. So you see, they can today say, "Nahi, bhai, dekhiye, aisa hai." The problem is that the UPA did it. So why should we look like, you know, the stone-hearted sarkar that people are painting us out to be? We should just quietly take the least line of resistance and give this man a passport.
Rahul,
end the drama. Let him go and do what he has to do, come back and go back to the valley. That's the issue. But you see,
Rahul, can I answer that question?
So I don't think the political class, one second. So I'm going to answer Miss Ilmi and tell her, and I'm going to ask Mr. Pandit to see if he actually agrees with me. The reason the media has picked up this story in a big way, especially NewsX, which took the lead on this story. First, when we reported the BJP's no, firm no, and today, when we broke the news that the government was considering or open to giving him a passport, is because we don't want the government, the political class, to compromise with our national interest anymore. We are tired of it. Mr. Pandit, would you agree with what I'm saying, or do you think we are being opportunistic?
Rahul, the national interest,
we are tired of it. We are tired of it.
Shazia, let me answer. Shazia, let me answer, please. Let me answer, please. If media would have not picked up this issue, the passport would have been issued by now. I'm very honest about it. Number two, I want to request Shazia that I want BJP to take a posture against terrorism when it was in opposition. That same posture has to be taken now. As soon as Mr. Gilani issues a request for a passport, the statement should have come that you are a terrorist, you should be behind the bars, you don't deserve a passport. That was a posture what BJP took when it was in opposition.
Mr. Pandit,
why are we accepting the forms?
Instead, look at the response.
On the forms?
No, Mr. Pandit, listen to the response from the government instead. 1 second, Shazia Almi, listen to the response.
Exactly
the response is here in my hand. It says passport is the right of every Indian citizen. Is Gilani an Indian citizen? He says, I'm not even an Indian citizen. I'm a Pakistani. So what rights are we talking about?
Precisely.
We should have told him, Mr. Gilani, now that you need India, I'm sorry.
But all I'm saying...
Now that you need India, I'm sorry, go home. Rot in hell for all we care. We don't care about you. You're not getting a passport. Don't even bother applying.
Rahul.
Yet, we have this wishy-washy statement.
Rahul.
This is the truth. Now I'm asking you, sir, why is this wishy-washy statement coming out? I'm asking you, sir, why this wishy-washy statement? Colonel Arison, why this wishy-washy statement? Why do we forget where Dawood is? Why do we forget where Dawood is? Why do we forget that we can't extend the custody of the other separatist who was released?
If you allow me...
Why?
Absolutely.
If you allow me just 30 seconds. For some reason, there has been an ugly symbiosis between the mainstream parties.
No, what is the reason, sir?
No.
Let's talk in,
that is what I'm saying.
Terms. It's votes, isn't it? It's votes. It's opportunism.
In March 2014...
The fear of PDP in Kashmir.
In March 2014, when he was ill, Omar Abdullah offered a helicopter for him.
We all know, sir, but why is this government that prides itself in being a government that stands up for the national interest say this?
Crores of rupees are spent on their treatment.
Many people consider him to be a useful intelligence asset.
Right.
But they have not realized that over the years, all political parties have done little to change the discourse in Kashmir. If people like Gilani...
1 second, Colonel Singh. Do you know Omar Abdullah's uncle is on record saying that Gilani is an ISI agent.
Look, gentlemen, we can go around in circles.
Yeah.
We are hoping that tomorrow the government... No, we are hoping that tomorrow... No, 1 second. We can go around in circles, and I don't really wish to prolong this. We have another debate to go to in 3 minutes.
Rahul,
all I'm saying is, 1 second, Ms. Ilmi.
You've had your... Assure you
yes, we are moving on. Let's see. Don't assure me. Don't assure me. I'm nobody in this equation. Assure the people of India that tomorrow there will be a definite statement saying, no, thank you, Mr. Gilani. Don't even bother to reapply. We will be waiting for that. We will hold this government to account on that. We are taking a short break.
To apply also.
Absolutely. Don't even allow him to reply or apply. Just tell him, nothing doing, don't waste your time. We're taking a short break. We return in precisely 3 minutes. J. Jayalalitha is planning her biggest comeback, political comeback tomorrow. It's going to be a big event. What does it actually hold in store for her and the other political parties? Is she heads and shoulders above the other political parties already? Can they even pose a challenge to J. Jayalalitha? Has she returned more powerful, more influential and stronger than before? We come back to that. Don't go away.